Hello out there, this is Terkanil, and welcome back to RxCraft. We are preparing to get into the second phase of this project, and Am has already gotten us prepared for that. He has plugged in a tesseract over here, so we now can provide power back to our bases once we remove the fuel and power generation rooms. Which means we get to come over here now, finish building out the frame for this place, the second wing, and then get everything moved over. So I'm going to take a minute to actually get the frame built up first, and then I will be back. Well, we're well on our way of getting the second wing built up. You can see the first frame over there. Did I get this thing? No. Let's go up one more. So we've got the first bit of the frame over there. I'm just mirroring what I did on the other side, including to the exact same height. Which means I get to go and fill in a lot of space down below there. So, for that, I'm going to make a trip back to my base and build myself a filler. 'Cause otherwise, that could take a while. So I'm going to place this last pillar here and head on back. Alright, the frame for the new wing is now in place. Just mirrored what was on the other side. So now I've got to fill in the ground here and dumped it all into our ender chest here. So one tesseract, a filler, and we'll grab those just in case I actually need them. I'll need a couple of these. So landmarks, and we're ready to go. Oh wait, I need dirt. So we're going to steal M's chest here and go use it. So, it'll be a few minutes while I get this set up. So I'll be back once that's in place. So I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put everything first. And gotta kill zombies. Well, the filler is almost done. So, in a moment here, we'll be able to start working on the floor. And I've got the walls going up. And then I gotta start moving things. Oh, the joys. The walls are up. All that's left to do now is get in the ceiling, and then I can worry about the floor. So that's a good part of the project on this side done. I still haven't quite planned out how I'm going to set this room up. So far I'm thinking I'm going to have the machines down here and then space the fuel out along this area here. And after that, it's just a matter of how to clump everything together, whether I want to put it in one big mass or arrange it like around the walls or something. So that'll be a decision I'll be working on for a bit here. Oh, we'll see what I come up with. I've been plotting some of this out on graph paper. I'll see if I can come up with anything decent. But, back to work. So the next leg of the project is dismantling all of this. We're going to take this entire setup here, as well as everything down here in the basement, and get it transplanted over to the project site. So I'm going to get to work, and then I'm going to head over to M's base. And here is M's power works currently as it's set up. So we're going to be transplanting this all as well. Like I said at one point, we have a lot of fuel stored between us. So moving it out will give us a bit more space, and will make it a little bit easier on the server going forward, since it'll be all in one place. But now to get this all dismantled. Fun. Alright, back at the power plant. Am has put up a little bit more on the mushroom farm, and probably a little bit later in the episode, we're both going to go and get this second site here, so these two sections here built all the way up to the top of that thing. But for now, I need to get this room dug back out. When I filled it up, I accidentally put it up one block too high. Seeing as that's where the floor should be. So, get to dig it all back out. And so for now, I'm just going to use flooring similar to what I have on the other side. So I'm going to be using this black grating. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to use, or what type of pattern I'll be using on the floor for the fuel storage area or the engines. I think around the engines I'll be doing something very similar to this. Won't need the corroded area because that won't match quite as well since it's a bit cleaner looking. This thing is meant to be a lot more industrial looking because of the zombie heads. They look a bit more, you know, putrid, so we're going to leave that like that, but I think the caution tape on the floor around the engine area should work out well. And my mouse just turned off. That's fantastic. Alrighty. Back up. So, I'm going to get this dug out and back once my mouse wants to work again. Now that I've got the floor in, I get to start laying out where all the pieces are going to go. And I've partially mapped it out. So this is going to end up going from this block right here. Then we're going to go 11 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. And we're going to take it over to here and one in. Repeat that. So that will outline the fuel storage section. Yeah, I probably should have thought about this before I laid the entirety of the floor, but I got carried away. This is one piece. The second piece of it, where did I put that? Over, down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there, over 3. Then I go 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. And that is where my refineries are going to go. Then finally, apparently I don't have the engines quite mapped out yet. They're going to end up somewhere right in this area. So, I'm going to start getting this area set up. Then I can worry about the engines. So give me a moment here while I find a decent design for all this. Actually, for that part down there, where the engines are going to go, I'm going to use this circuit block. So the flooring will look like that. I'm still going to surround a lot of this area, work area, with the yellow taping, like I have down there. So I'll probably have the yellow tape run right about here, I would guess, depending on that's enough room. I might even do the same right around this. Just keeping with the warning for work area. So let me finish getting this laid out and the floor design in place, and then I'll be back at that point to get everything built back in. Alright, now that everything's been disassembled back at base, I can start putting together the pieces here. So we have the... Whoops. I was figuring I'm going to miss something around at some point in time. Getting the refinery hooked up first, since it's the simplest to tear down. The only piece I'm presently not actually using. So we can get this piece hooked in. Okay. We'll actually turn this guy around. There we go. That faces the door. Then need to have this thing extract. And always. I think I got them all the same. Yep. Switch these guys to down. Now we run the piping. Next, get our actually. We'll do the power along the top instead this time. So we'll get the refineries. Whoops. Man, I'm doing great on my aim today. So I'd never really filmed how this all looks before. Kind of skipped it. So now you can see how this all hooks in. Let's see. The extract always. Well, I can automate this part. Repetitiveness. Whereas this is nothing compared to the expected repetitiveness of having to complete that tower above me. Am's quite used to it at this point. I get to learn how exactly he was doing it. Alright, that part's now done. So this will be outputting to the storage area. So all that's left is the power conduits. Let's get these all hooked up. There's that. And let's see. Redstone would be for power going into these. So I gotta design that piece. Might just tesseract over, but I can always run a pipe. I'll have to talk with Am about that one as to which we think would look best for that piece. But for the moment, we'll worry about getting the rest of the automation in. So, that includes the BuildCraft pieces. The tank here. So the tank will need to go right here. Then we get our automation piece, and this needs to actually come off a slight bit, so yeah, that'll do. Alright, so give me a second here. Alright, got these connected back in. Had to remember my logic I had on these pieces. So this guy is less than 70%, and this is going to be a red out. This is going to be a blue and red. To get a redstone signal. This guy is if there's fluid. Alrighty. So there's the automation piece. All that's left off of that now is to get the powered redstone plugged in. Since I don't have any power in this wing yet, can't quite complete that bit. So we'll have to end up coming back to it. And yes, I'm overcomplicating it, but whatever. But for now, that's all we're going to be able to really do. So let me finish these couple pieces really quick. That'll set us for the time being. So once I can get the rest of these pieces plugged in and determine how we're going to send everything around, we can get picked up there. Before I can actually disconnect my engines and my fuel storage, I need to get a new Tesseract built and plugged into base that's linked over to the module over there. So, short break while I get final preparations made. Alright, back at base. We're going to get this cleared out, but first that means I need to get a Tesseract up. So, let me get the pieces necessary to pull this off. So we need 4 of these. We need, actually, 4 of you will work. And a diamond. Head over my crafting bench. And this will give me my Tesseract frame. Now I need to... Where's my... Do I not have an infuser that's meant just for that? I guess not. Do I have one sitting around? Yes, I do. Fantastic. Alright, so where can I stick you? We'll stick you there for now. Yes, my area is getting worse. I know I meant to clean it up, several episodes ago. I'm getting worse. Whatever. I'll get to it eventually or figure it out. Let me pop off this. Dunk. Sometime back, I gave myself a tank with I forgot what this stuff is called. Man. Resonant ender fluid. Yes. that stuff. So I made a whole bunch a while back, so I could very easily get this put in place. And stick my frame in. It's got juice. What am I doing? Oh. Dunk. And the weight. Okay. Now, we take this guy, and we need silver. Silver, silver, you. So that... Oops. I need Tinker's Ally, which I did make quite a bit of it. Wow. Alrighty then. Back to my crafting table. And I have forgotten the exact pattern on this thing. So, I need you. Dunk. Haha. Doot, 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 doot. At the center. One Tesseract. Alright. And... do I have any green power pipes? I do. Let's make a hole so I can get under here. I should probably put something there so I don't fall down. Where's my dirt? Probably have my ender chest. Okay, well, we'll rather later. Get this hole plugged. Plop you there. Plop you there. We're going to say you are power only, so energy mode, receive only, set to infinite power. I'll probably automate this a little bit. I think I can. Can't I? Yes. Yeah, so I'll have it change the redstone signal over there. Probably shift it just a little bit too. So I'm going to maintain this guy right here, which is the control for power in my base. I'll have it maintain its current settings. I'm just going to redirect the redstone signal from going to these guys to instead go to here, the Tesseract, so we'll start pulling power. That is what's currently charging my main battery. That'll give me an internal reserve, and I'll only drain off of the power plant when that thing starts to get low. Also known as how it should be. So with that, it's time to take this thing apart. So, first things first. Need to pop off the floor. We'll break the line. Now I gotta drain that thing. So, I don't have any tanks on me, do I? Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to take a few minutes and clean that area out. Why am I going downstairs? Oh, I know I'm going downstairs. And once it is cleaned out and I have all the engines picked up. I'll get back to y'all at that point, and we can start dragging everything over to the new wing in the power plant. So, one moment. Removing the engines is about done. I just have a couple more things, I think, to clean up. I got the reservoir, didn't I? But now I just got a mess in the walls to deal with. So I've got to figure out how to deal with all this still. You can see how I was working through all that. I don't have any dark wood. Grab some of you. Whew. Alright. So I use planks mostly, don't I? I'll keep with the planks. Boy, that wall looks barren. These guys shall have a home. Yay! Alright, get that in there and I'll deal with the rest of that all later. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take the power line that I've got right here and I'm going to run it straight up behind that, so it'll just be a straight line up. I'm going to have a power cell, one of these guys, sitting in the wall, probably right behind this, as I'm going to need a... Actually, I could probably just put it below the floor, couldn't I? I could just run straight red. Yeah, deal with that decision later. Let me get these guys traded out here. Woo, lost my train of thought there. And it got dark in here. Yay. And that's what happens when you have powered lights. Yeah, the difference on these guys, I don't know if I mentioned it on camera or not, but these two I decided to go with a little bit experimental. So these are wirelessly powered lights. These two are obviously in line. So these guys are actually being powered by the wireless generator. What in the world? Oh. Hey. The wireless generator there is what's giving these guys juice. It also happens to charge every single thing upon me that happens to require power. So my armor, my toys, my capacitor that I carry with me, all that is being powered or recharged as soon as I step foot in my base. Am also has one of these at his base, so I end up sucking power off of him whenever I go over there. But let me get this run back in here, because I need to have this all working. Take out the wall. Down. Then get rid of that. And good. So there's something in my face. Oh. Something else right there? I've got a lot of these blocks right here, and now it's going to be hard to see them since there's no conduits there. It's basically playing this little game until I can figure out where everything is. I can come right here, trade in these guys. too. Nothing else is going to give me a lot more facades to play with. And I may end up taking the wall, or parts of the wall, back out at some point. But at the very least, I want to have these guys all flush again. So that'll do. Alright, that completes removing all of this stuff, at least. It's got a couple more conduits here to clean up. Everything going down to the basement I'm going to have to deal with at a slightly later point, as that's a much higher number of conduits and pieces to deal with. So I'm going to get my engines all moved in to the power plant now, and then after that I can see about starting to move the pieces from Am's base. And I'll do that later. So over to the power plant. The engines are in place. We have the reservoir in here as well. It's already finished pumping water into all of the engines. So that takes care of that part of this setup. So the next piece is then moving over all the fuel storage. I still haven't quite decided how I'm going to array this area, but I'm going to have to set up some kind of footwork so I can place down the tanks. For this room, I'm going to be using exclusively the NotEoughItems portable tanks. Don't know what level, or if I'm just going to leave them at the reinforced. I think they're at right now. Yeah, it's reinforced. Got most of mine in here. I still have a lot of the, or all of the, I have all of the BuildCraft tanks still back at the base, and I think some of the portable tanks still back there. But I need to figure out how to array this. I'm planning to use something similar to what I had in my base, wherein I have a conduit running along the bottom, and then a space for walking between the rows. I don't know if I'm going to go kind of like how I was doing, which was a row of conduit, walking space, and then another row, or I'm just going to do a double row. Because I very well could do that quite easily in this space, and it might work out a little bit better. I'm going to pack in a lot more, so because I've got a lot to have to deal with once I get AMs over. As for the BuildCraft tanks that I will end up having left over once it's done, because I'm going to shift all of that fuel over into portable tanks. The BuildCraft tanks that will remain, I'm going to bring over here. So while it's not completely necessary, I've been going for a somewhat, highly industrial look on this side, especially. As you can see with the floor and the sort of corroded looking area around the module here from the flooring. Then slightly dirtier look here around the vats. Now the vats and then the juice that flows over to the zombie generators can take care of themselves technically, but I want to have them actually visible, so, or at least the juice of it all, the nutrient distillation. I'm still getting used to that stuff. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to put up probably a tower right here, maybe another tower right here, maybe one or two. I haven't quite decided yet, but I'm going to end up taking all of my BuildCraft tanks and use them over here for that. The tanks are going to be primarily for show, but it will, also give us a backup in case something goes wrong with that thing. And we've still got to get this piece plugged in too. But that's the idea that we're going to be working on in here. I do not know how long it's going to take me to get it all put in place. So I'm going to actually go ahead and cut the episode here and work on some of it in between. So in the next episode, I'm going to be finishing out this section, getting AMs over, as well as adding a entirely extra bank of the dynamos. I forgot what these things were called for a moment there. And once that's in place, we will be ready to go. So then after that, it's all just plugging it all in. We're also going to be doing a little bit of work on the tower here. It's not 100% complete all the way up. M has added several of these rows going from bedrock and then going about, I don't know, 30, 40 rows or so above us. I forget exactly where he stopped. It could be a bit higher. But we're going to get that finished out as well. So probably a lot of that's going to be done on camera. Probably a time lapse or something. But I think that's all I've got for now. So with that, this is Terkanil signing off. I found you.
So the thing